Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are very, very lucky tonight. I would like to call to the stand Sir Richard Peck. Mr. Peck, Sir Richard, is the International President, no less, of the College of Bioweaponry and Genetic Science. And I'd like to welcome him here tonight as the expert globally in the issues that we are discussing. So Richard, can you tell us a little bit, please, just to honour us? We're honoured that you're here. If you could let us know a little bit more about your background.
Well, thank you. Yes, I can. As you've heard my credentials where I am employed, I've also had the privilege of knowing the defendant for many years and know of his credentials. But I also know him of an individual of kind character, something that has not been portrayed here tonight. We can see that in the emotional aspect. I can also tell you that although he is knowledgeable in bioweaponry, he does not have the skill set to be able to develop what the court is presenting against him. There's a difference between knowledge and practicality. He has the knowledge, but he does not have the ability to be able to move forward with it.
Thank you very much, Sir Richard. You've seen all of the statements and details of this case, and I know that you are very aware of the disease hemifacial microsomia. It is very rare, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
And, you know, how much do we know about it, in all honesty?
Well, I think as in any disease, we're constantly learning about it. But because it is in such a small portion of the population, it takes longer to figure these things out. And we're always conducting more study. That being said, there is so much unknown about it that it's really hard to pinpoint what the ultimate result of the disease is without continuing to have that investigation, without continuing to have those studies on it.
Because I mean, we have had police officers kind of like speaking with incredible levels of certainty about, you know, the progress of the disease. How is this possible?
Well, if you have a little knowledge about something, you can definitely speak to it with confidence. However, I would dare say that if you expand the conversation, the depth of knowledge will get smaller, and the ability to answer properly will also falter.
Thank you very much for that. Do you think that, I mean, there's a kind of a logic problem?
The court would like to call on the prosecution to cross-examine.
Proceed.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. So Richard Peck, thank you so much for being with us this evening. And I will acknowledge publicly your great contributions to the world of science, bioweapons in particular, and certainly some of the great work that you have done to help countries around the world do the right thing. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, everybody in the court, I have a piece of evidence that I would like to be played in this court, if that's possible.
That cultural awareness, cultural understanding, spot on. I really appreciate that. I'm going to give you a special congratulations on that because not everybody does that. Malta.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, from this very short excerpt from a recent conversation, from a recent talk that Sir Richard Peck, you kindly gave to a scientific conference only about a couple of hours ago, it clearly appears to me that you are insinuating, or even, shall I say, praising the scientific work of Lord Fabio De Sio in his ability
Objection, Your Honor.
Culturally
Lord Fabio,
bioweapons.
objection, Your Honor. Lord Fabio was not mentioned in that oral discourse whatsoever. Objection sustained, and the court maintains that the onus is on the prosecution to prove that he was. Counsel Sartre, please proceed.
Thank you very much. Perhaps I'll rephrase and paraphrase the content of that praise. So Richard Peck clearly demonstrated during that segment that it is possible to target bioweapons, in praising individuals that do so. Is it not therefore possible, as we clearly seen through the erratic behavior at times of Lord Desio, that he could, in secret, develop those weapons?
Well,
Objection, Your Honour. He's insinuating that the defendant is guilty
Counsel,
already.
please give the witness time to give his testimony. Sir Peck, please proceed in your own time.
thank you, Your Honor. I think that you've taken that whole statement, that whole speech out of context. You've played 30 seconds of a 2-minute speech. And we could take anything that came out of conversation and adjust it to the way we want it. Was I possibly congratulating him for the work he's done? Yes. Shouldn't we recognize individuals for their positive contributions? I think here, the difference is you're trying to take a positive acknowledgement and turn it into something that becomes a negative focus. And I would caution which side of the coin you look at when you listen to the conversation. If you play the whole thing, I think you'll read it a little differently. I think the court would read it a little differently.
The court would like to ask the defense to continue their explanation.
Thank you, Your Honour. Sir Richard, welcome here tonight. It has been made. We've been made aware that you have some other interests. This organisation called TOASTMASTERS, I believe. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your involvement with that?
Well, thank you. I would. And I think it will state to the ability to recognize individuals and their character as an organization that is devoted to helping others develop their communication and leadership skills. We also spend time identifying leaders and helping to encourage them and grow. We also have a series of core values that we follow: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. There is no reason for me to sacrifice my core values, which are in alignment with those, to present a testimony that would not be prudent to this case. As I look at the defendant, who I've known for years, I have watched him develop as a leader. I've watched him develop as an individual who upholds those same core values. As a person, I would not stay involved with somebody who went against my values, because the one thing in life I will never sacrifice is my integrity, my respect, and my service, or my excellence to my fellow man.
Well said, Sir Richard. Well said. Thank you very much. Is it also true that you saw Lord Fabio being charitable with his time and his research, and trying to give stuff back to the community that helped him grow as a person?
Yeah, I believe that I have seen that. I think the members who know him, the community that knows him, has seen that as well. He's been made a lord, which is not something that is just given out willy-nilly. He has continued to contribute to society to the best of his ability. And I think that is what we need to consider when we think about contributing back to our fellow man. It's the limit to which you can contribute that's important. And as long as you're doing it to that point, then you are truly living up to who you are as an individual. And I have witnessed that from Lord Desio.
The court would like to ask the prosecution to cross-examine.
Proceed.
Thank you, my learned colleague. Sir Peck, it is very, very gracious of you to grace us with your time. You're obviously quite a substantive individual in your field. Indeed, a bioweapons expert. You would be quite thrilled, I've no doubt, with this case, pulling it apart and finding the details. So admirable. But I have a question for you, sir. It perplexes me, given your time and your contacts with DARPA and indeed the industry complex. You are sworn to secrecy, are you not, under the Secrets Act of the CIA? So you are under no obligation to admit any truth under witness of perjury. Is that not true, sir?
Well, I think that catches you in quite an interesting situation, doesn't it? Because if I'm held under an oath not to perjure myself, because I can't share secrets, that I come to a court where perjury would put me in its own particular situation, then why would I come forward as a witness?
Indeed, sir, the absence of your information is somewhat informational. So by saying that you have nothing, you are in fact saying that you do know something but cannot say it.
Well, I think that's what you're saying, that maybe you have nothing
That is
and
exactly
you're
what
trying
I'm saying,
to,
but,
maybe
that
you
is
have,
Counsel,
maybe-
the court politely implores you to get back in your box and let the witness speak.
Of course, Your Honor. I apologize, Sir Peck.
Oh, no, please continue. I'd like to hear the line of your questioning to determine whether it has relevance or whether you have nothing to say.
Sustained.
I believe the relevance is that your knowledge of bioweapons positions you very well to understand the meaning of this case. Indeed, you know that the defendant is not only capable and has done it, he has done it on behalf of the United States of America, of which you so approved under your project management.
So I would say that my knowledge of bioweaponry does put me in a position to address the court. But then I would say counter to that, then your lack of knowledge of bioweaponry may not put you in a position to be trying in this situation.
The court would call upon the defense to deliver a final cross-examination.
Thank you very much, my lord. Sir Richard, thank you again for coming today. We feel honoured. Your integrity is beyond reproach. You've made a statement about Lord Fabio, which paints a picture different from the prosecution. Would you have any parting remarks for the court session here today?
Well, I think when it comes to Lord Fabio, it's up to us to view the individual as who they are and what we know about them and what has been presented. It is the prosecution's role to make Lord Fabio look the way he does. It is those of us who know him, those of us who are the industry experts, who are here to stand up for the weakness, to stand up for those and defend them when others are coming after them. I think that is what we all need to do. We need to come to those individuals at a time of need and defend them against those who are trying to tear them down.
Thank you.
Calls upon the defense to deliver their final, to call their final witness.